I'm starting this video from bed because I have no shame. So there's this YouTuber called Best Dressed, or Ashley, and she's kind of a fashion lifestyle YouTuber. I think she got big doing like sustainable fashion videos, and sometimes she does short films, which is the video I'm talking about today. But before that, I started watching her videos when she started her like moving series, because earlier this year she moved from LA to New York. And if you've been watching me for a long time, you'll know that before I got into the Disney College program, if I didn't get in, I was planning on moving to New York after graduation. But of course, a lot of you will know what happened with that. In the middle of my final semester of college, we all went into quarantine, Disney College program got canceled, and I've just been at home indefinitely. And as of right now, my parents don't want me moving to New York City yet, and I'll go into the reasons why in a little bit. So with all that being said, Ashley released this video, How 2020 Has Me Feeling.
Hey, how are you? It's been a while since we caught up.
And I have some thoughts. Honestly though, this isn't a full critique of the video. However, I am going to address some of the main criticisms I've been seeing about the video. But I mainly wanted to talk about how some of the various points of the video affected me personally, and how her video and sort of outlook parallels mine. This is more about me than it's about her, let's be real. I do, however, understand some of the concerns the people in the comments were having, that she, in the video, sort of frames the pandemic as this sort of coming-of-age moment of realization, and I can't really tell if that's how she genuinely sees the pandemic in her mind, or, you know, that's just sort of a consequence of trying to create a narrative type video. However, I'm not like angry she made the video. I think it is healthy to like process your emotions through art, although there are a lot of comments saying that she needs to go to therapy, and I mean, I'm not an expert, so I can't tell anybody to go to therapy. I will admit, even I find myself sometimes looking at how the pandemic has affected me in terms of the language of a narrative structure, but I guess compared to her, I'm seeing the pandemic less as a hero's journey and more like a Beckett play. And I share a lot of the same emotions she's talking about. Like, for the first like month or so, if I after Disney College program was canceled, I mean, if I didn't have Camp NaNoWriMo to do, like, I don't know what I would have done. Like, I felt like a failure, even though the fact that Disney College was canceled was like completely out of my control. You know, it's every college grad's worst nightmare to have to move back in with your parents and be jobless after graduation. One criticism I have to address about Ashley's video is the fact that she talks about the pandemic in her video in kind of like in a implied past tense.
To process the trauma of quarantine. Not to be too dramatic, but I think I was in survival mode for so long, just trying to get through each week, that now that I finally have room to breathe, now that life is normal-ish but not really normal.
It's complicated because she never quite comes out and says the pandemic is over, but, you know, with the implication that, like, things are getting back to normal, which I have heard actually in New York City that's kind of true, but it's hard, especially in America, to give that kind of broad, sweeping generalization when state to state things are completely different. Like, and this is definitely an American thing. I have friends abroad who are starting to talk about, you know, post-COVID, and I think particularly in America, we're not really there yet. But I have heard from friends who are living in NYC right now that things are slowly starting to return, not to normal, but it's not a complete lockdown anymore like it has been. I don't know. I trust their word on it because they're the ones living in New York City, not me. But I have a hard time visualizing that because my family since the beginning has been taking this very seriously. And that's where I need to talk about why I haven't moved to New York City yet and why I probably won't for at least a little bit. You know, a lot of people, a lot of my friends on the East Coast, a lot of my people I went to college with have made their, even like people who were supposed to do the Disney College program with me, have made that jump to New York City or to one of the 5 boroughs or sort of outer lying suburbs of New York if they couldn't get an apartment in the city. And sure, of course, I would love to do that too. And I'm not faulting anybody for doing it. Like, I want to do that. Like, I want to, you know, get my life started. And I've been hearing that film and TV are opening back up in New York, so there is opportunity for job, anything. One of the big obstacles to getting a job is I'm living at home with my family, and with how seriously my mother has been taking the pandemic, she doesn't want me to apply for in-person jobs for as long as I'm living at home. So if I lived on my own in Manhattan, like, I could apply for in-person jobs and have a much better time finding something. Probably the most important thing beyond anything is I just want to see my friends again. I've been thinking about it and I realized, like, I have not seen anybody that isn't my family since March. Even though I do have friends here in San Francisco, you know, like I said, my family is taking this very seriously. I haven't been allowed to see anybody. And of course I want that freedom, but I have to respect the wishes of my parents as well. My parents haven't been super specific about when they would let me begin considering moving to New York, but from what they've talked about, it sounds like it's not going to be a possibility in my future until there's a vaccine. And sure, there could be a vaccine tomorrow, but I've just grown really frustrated waiting. Because, you know, it's already been several uninterrupted months of quarantine and not seeing anybody. And, you know, the longer I have to wait, the more nervous I get that this might last forever. And that's such a stupid, childish thing to think. But, you know, part of the idea of college is that afterwards you're supposed to be able to get out. You're supposed to be able to start your life. And I haven't been able to do that. You know, no college grad wants to be stuck in their parents' house. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this video. If there's anything I would say to Best Dressed or Ashley, it's that, girl, you are living the dream. You are living my dream. I am 100% willing to admit I am totally jealous of you right now. I would love to be living in Manhattan and being able to, like, have picnics with my friends or even see my friends right now. You know, because I miss them so much. I miss everybody so much, and God, I'm tearing up. Ugh, thank God I powdered my face today, because if I hadn't, I would have just ruined my concealer. So for, like, my YouTube audience who doesn't really know me in real life, not much is going to change for you guys. You're going to be seeing this room for the foreseeable future. I'm getting ready for NaNoWriMo, and, you know, that's something to look forward to. And, yeah, so thanks for listening to my little life update and my, I guess, response to Best Dressed video. And I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.